Good afternoon. My name is Caroline, but you know that. And I would like to take you with me on my journey, which I took the past 7 years in pop-up stores. And this is where it started, 7 years ago. This is my dog. He's called Spiky. And as you maybe can see, the picture is not so good. He is in the cockpit of our private jet. In those days, I worked in a real estate company called TCN, and our boss had a private jet, and whenever he wanted to go somewhere, maybe to the bankers in London or wherever, he took the dog, the mascot of the company, to make it a little bit more cheerful. So the message of this picture is that in those days, the sky was the limit. That was 2007, and suddenly something happened. The financial crisis happened. TCN, my real estate company, or not mine, but our real estate company, got bankrupted. So there I was on the street, no job, and everything actually in real estate got a little bit down, so no more other jobs. So what was I supposed to do? And everyone around me said, well, it will go by. It will pass by. It is only a lack of trust between banks. Really, that's what they said. And when I worked in a real estate company, I worked in retail concepts, etc., etc. And I saw that empty spaces in the city centers started getting empty and stayed empty. So I thought, why do I not do something with that? When I talked about it with people, everyone said again, well, that's nice for 1 year, but next year it will be over again because it will go over, this financial crisis. That was not what I thought. I thought there is something happening. There is a shift going on. Because I saw, and it was 2007 and 2008, web shops coming out of the ground like mushrooms. And I saw empty spaces staying empty. And a third other thing was, I saw that city centers, if it was Rotterdam or Amsterdam or Utrecht or Maastricht or Emmen or Oude Pekela or wherever you went, they were extremely, extremely boring. All the city centers were identical and boring. So I thought, why can we not do something about it? So I decided to make a new concept. I decided to bring the new web shops owners with new kind of products together in empty spaces, so I could show the consumer, the new consumer, that we could make new warehouses in the city centers and to please them again. That's why I started my first warehouse. And I wanted to prove that I could make a shop without any money, but only by collecting web shop products together in one space. And that's what I did, and that's what I started in 2009. And this was my first warehouse. I did it together, of course, with a lot of other people because it was a lot of work. The amazing Christmas warehouse in an empty space. So that was 2007, 2008. That is 7 years ago. And what happened in these 7 years? I have been working in pop-up stores and retail and flexibility, etc. for the 7 years I did. And I saw a lot of things happening in retail. I saw, for example, big brands changing the idea of advertisement and going into the city again and do pop-up stores. H&M, IKEA, Ben & Jerry's, Unilever. I saw a lot of new coming entrepreneurs and retailers who were doing concept stores, etc., and who were combining projects like washing products with coffee, etc. I saw concept stores everywhere around me, doing things like I did in Amsterdam, collecting nice new products in one shop and managing it together. So giving the opportunity and the possibility to other starting new designers to show their products in a shop. What I also saw was different locations, other spaces, like spaces where you never ever came before, outside the city, etc. Ugly buildings. And in those ugly buildings, because they were empty and because they were cheap, entrepreneurs and new entrepreneurs and designers came together to make some kind of a shop experience. This, for example, was Rotterdam. And this is an old building which was empty for a long time. But now it's kind of a shop. People go there every day to buy nice stuff. I saw containers. Containers coming together just to gather people together and where people could sell their products. And what the nice thing was about this container village was it used to be a very ugly place in the city, but building these containers and giving the opportunity to people around living, they could hire for not so much money a container and they could sell their stuff. Box Park in London, containers, 40 containers. Imagine that around Box Park there are a lot of vacant spaces. Not anymore, but in those days there were a lot of vacant spaces that was in shortage. So the owner of Box Park said, okay, if the owners of the vacant spaces, if they don't want to cooperate, I will make my own containers. I will do that. So it's a huge success. It's in London and all these containers are filled with temporary concepts. And I can assure you that it will take more than a year to get a container because there are so many retailers and concepts wanting to rent a container. This is a new shopping mall in Berlin, and I worked for that as well. And the shopping mall has all kind of beautiful concept stores, etc. But mainly we organized and we developed in the city, in the whole of the shopping mall, we developed some kind of place for flexibility, for new kind of concepts, from local concepts to big brands, etc. They can rent a space for 3 months, they can rent a space for 6 months, and they can rent a space for 12 months. And guess what? It's a huge success because a lot of entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, want to do that like that because they want to try out and they want to be flexible. That's a little bit part of this new life. And what's happening now? What I see in London, there's a complete new concept which is called shop sharing. So existing shops, they give a little bit away to pop-up stores. So that is a little bit a win-win situation. An existing shop and a pop-up store together. So that's nice for marketing, that's nice for PR, you get a little bit of money. It's a little bit the Airbnb of the shops. What I actually wanted to say, sorry, I don't have any more time, but is the other way, the world where I come from 7 years ago, the real estate world, and you have heard it a lot of times today. What is changed in that world? And in my experience in the past 7 years, I can honestly say to you that in that world, nothing changed. Not a single movement, not a single crack, not a single change in the way they think. And as you can see on this last picture I show you, it is about people coming together, because this is not a shop in a vacant space or in the city center. This is about a market somewhere in an open space, and people like to come there together. And the story is that if real estate owners, if they do not act differently than they do now, we will have an even bigger problem in the city centers as we do already. So my final word is to everyone concerning city centers and everyone concerning urban development: start pop-up now in your city. Thank you very much.